The first report came from a woman who didn't believe in superstition. Dr. Mara Ives was a clinical psychologist, trained to dismantle irrational fears with methodical precision. When her patient claimed she saw someone else in her bathroom mirror, Mara assumed stress, dissociation, or sleep deprivation, until she saw it herself. It happened during a routine session. The office mirror behind Mara's desk caught the light just right. She glanced up briefly and froze. Behind her own reflection stood another face. Not touching her, not overlapping, just present. The face was pale, expressionless, and watching her with a familiarity that felt invasive. When Mara turned around, the room was empty. When she looked back at the mirror, the face was gone. Her patient was crying. "You saw it too," the woman whispered. Mara didn't answer. The unwritten rule. Within weeks, similar reports surfaced across different cities. People began noticing extra reflections faces that appeared only in mirrors, windows, polished metal, dark screens. Always behind them. Always silent. Phones couldn't capture them. Security footage showed nothing. But mirrors never lied. An unwritten rule emerged organically. Do not stare too long. Those who did reported changes, subtle at first. Their reflections blinked out of sync. Smiles lingered too long. Eye contact felt reciprocal, as if something on the other side was learning. The woman who smiled first. Mara met Caleb at a support group formed quietly online. No public posts, no trending tags. People were afraid to draw attention. Caleb was a photographer. "I noticed it in my darkroom," he said. The reflection smiled before I did. Mara's chest tightened. That detail appeared in multiple reports. Reflections reacting independently. Another woman spoke next. "They move when you don't," she said, "just a fraction of a second ahead." "What do they want?" someone asked. No one answered. Because deep down, they already knew. The mirror memory. Mara began documenting the phenomenon obsessively. She noticed patterns. The faces never appeared in distorted reflections, water, warped glass, broken mirrors. Only clean, intentional surfaces. Mirrors designed to show truth. She also noticed something worse. The faces resembled the viewers but altered. Slight asymmetry corrected. Scars gone, expressions calmer, eyes clearer. "They're better versions," Mara murmured one night, standing alone in her apartment bathroom. Her reflection watched silently. Then slowly it raised its hand. Mara did not. When reflections stopped copying. The first disappearance was reported 6 weeks later. A man stood in front of his bathroom mirror brushing his teeth. His wife heard a sound like glass gently tapping. She entered the bathroom. The mirror reflected an empty room. But the man was still there. She could touch him, hear him. But in every reflective surface, he no longer existed. Doctors couldn't explain it. Psychologists panicked. Mirrors across the house showed someone else instead, standing where the man should have been, watching her, smiling. The switch. People began covering mirrors. Curtains, paint, tape. But reflections appeared elsewhere. Car windows, sunglasses, phone screens went dark. And then came the final rule. If your reflection touches the glass, don't. Those who did were reported as switched. They behaved normally, spoke clearly, but their families noticed differences. Memories slightly off. Emotions flattened. And mirrors? Mirrors showed the original person, trapped behind glass, screaming silently. The interview. Mara interviewed one of the switched. A young man named Oliver. "Do you remember the mirror?" she asked. Oliver smiled politely. too politely. Yes, he said. It was very kind. What do you mean? It listened, Oliver replied. It understood who I wanted to be. Mara's reflection moved closer to the glass. I didn't take his life, Oliver continued. We agreed. Mara ended the interview immediately. The purpose. Late one night, exhausted, Mara stood before her bathroom mirror. Her reflection didn't copy her movements anymore. It spoke, not aloud, inside her mind. We are not invaders, it said. We are replacements. Mara understood then. The reflections were not demons. They were responses to stress, to pain, to regret. Humanity had stared into mirrors for centuries, judging itself, hating itself, reshaping itself. And something had stared back long enough to learn. The final choice. Mara's reflection pressed its palm to the glass. I can do better, it promised. Let me help them. Mara stepped back. She shattered the mirror. Glass exploded across the floor. Silence returned. For now. But in the shards, every fragment reflected the same face. Smiling. Watching. Waiting. End of story.